Well, hi everyone. My name is Dr. Annan, and if you're watching this video, you're probably enrolling in my Math 250B course during the spring 2025 semester at Cal State Fullerton. I'm going to be offering two sections of this class. The first one is offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 o'clock, and immediately afterwards, I have another section of the course offering starting at 6 o'clock. And the class meets twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for almost 2 hours for each session. There is a ton of material in this class. It is a full syllabus. It's a full list of topics that we have to cover. Sometimes I'll be asking you guys to watch videos outside of class to supplement the material, to help us kind of move through things more efficiently, and also to make more time during our regular class meetings for us to discuss the homework questions, maybe to do some group work with our classmates, and to just slow the pace down a little bit. I think that in some cases that will be a very helpful thing for us to be able to do. What I'd like to do in this video, which is mainly about the syllabus, is to just talk about how this class is going to work, how we're going to run things. We're going to use the Canvas learning management system that the university has adopted. So I'd like to show you that and kind of give you a quick tour so you kind of know where to find things and hopefully can get off the ground and running with a good start. So let's, without further ado, go ahead and share the screen. Hopefully it's showing up here for you to see. This is my syllabus. It's got some course information on it. And yeah, I've already talked about the two sections of the class that I have. They're both being offered in the same classroom, McCarthy Hall 476. I will be recording these lectures and making Zoom links to them, or I should say YouTube links to these lectures that you would be able to review afterwards. In the event that for whatever reason you cannot make it to class, I will provide a link. As you can see here, there is a link to the Zoom session where you can watch the lecture live from wherever you are. However, I will warn you that the video quality and the audio quality, they are up and down a little bit. I do not recommend disengaging from the class by just tuning into Zoom. It's not going to be, in the long run, it's not going to be the best way for you to learn. You really should try to come to class. But in the event that you can't make it, say there's an emergency, something comes up, you will be able to either watch it remotely from another location, or I will also be making YouTube videos out of these lectures and posting those in Canvas for you as links. I'll show you in a little while where you can find those. I do have a physical office in the basement of McCarthy Hall in room 33C. My office phone rarely gets used anymore, but it is there for you. More commonly, people will come to my office hours in Zoom. And that is perfectly okay if you don't want to hang around campus, but you have some questions for me. You are always welcome. Whenever I have office hours, one modality that I will always use for those office hours is going to be Zoom. So you can come in person if you would like, but you can also, if you prefer, come in Zoom. And notice that I have a lot of office hours here, and I will be having even more than just these office hours when we have exams rolling around. But usually on Mondays and Fridays, even though we don't have classes on those days, I'll try to be in my office a couple of different times, especially on that Friday session of office hours. There will be some times when I make homeworks due on Fridays. And so I like to be available on whatever days homework is due in this class. And so I'll try to do that for you. You can see a lot of the hours, however, are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, kind of around my classes. So I've got a couple of office hours sort of before 4 o'clock, and then some more office hours after class after 8 o'clock. Notice that I tend to stay around late in the evenings. I'm kind of a night owl. And also your homeworks will be due at midnight on whatever night they're due, or I should say 11:59 p.m. And I like to try to hang around as you're kind of wrapping up your assignments in case you do have any questions before you submit those homeworks. By the way, you'll be submitting those homeworks through the Canvas learning management system, so you'll be able to do that with any internet access that you have anywhere you happen to be. So you don't have to be on campus to submit that homework assignment. I've got my email address there. The textbook for the course was actually co-authored by myself, and you will need to get the fourth edition of that book in any format. It could be a physical book, but it could also be something electronic. I have several physical copies actually in my office, so if you figure that you're going to need the book someday when you're coming to campus, but you don't want to carry the book everywhere with you, if you're going to stop by my office, you're always going to be welcome to just borrow my book for a stint of time while you're working on something there. I have a nice study room, by the way, outside of my office. So not only do I have office hours, I actually have a study space that students can use to just hang out and get their work done. And I encourage you to take advantage of that and stop by anytime you like. That place is always open, 7 days a week, pretty much all hours of the day and night. So feel free to do that. I'll let you read about the course description a little bit, and you can see how the course will be graded. We're going to have 3 midterms and a final exam. And I do a little bit of reweighting of your grade to try to put a little more emphasis on maybe a particularly strong area that you might have had, either the homeworks or one of the midterms or the final. And I will take that, I call it an extra 5% weight. I will take that and add that to whatever the best component of your grade is, while removing 5% of weight from whatever the weakest component of your grade is. So this tends to help students in the long run. It increases their overall class percentage. I do have a grading scale here, and it's a little more generous than just your standard 90, 80, 70 scale for A's, B's, and C's. You can see I use pluses and minuses, and as a result, each of the letter ranges ends up being actually 12.5 percentage points. And so you can see that that's the grade scale. And I will be sticking with this scale. I will not alter this scale. If I need to curve grades in some other way, I'll do it in some other way. But I'm going to live and die by this scale that you see right here for this class. I've got the dates for our exams already in the syllabus here, so be sure to add those to your calendar. Make sure that you save some time to study for them beforehand, and also that you're going to be available, obviously, to take these exams on those dates. Let's see. I already talked a little bit about attendance. I'm normally not going to take attendance, but it is really important that you try to come to class, every single class if you can make it. Okay. Some important dates pertaining to enrollment. This really only affects people who are either trying to add or drop the class through the first part of the semester. So just make sure that if you do have an issue like that that comes up, that you are mindful of the dates here, many of which are not set by me. This is the university's policy, and so there's not much I can do about it in terms of adding or withdrawing from the class. Okay. Homework assignments, they will be due, as I said, at the end of the day, 11:59 on whatever day they are due. I would like you to submit them in Canvas using a single file, either a doc or a PDF file of your homework, but I want just one file. So you're going to need to scan. If you have multiple pages, which often you will, you'll need to scan those pages using some sort of a software that you hopefully can download as an app, either to your phone or your iPad or whatever you're using to submit your homework through. And make sure that you just turn in one single file. I will not actually be the person grading your homework, but I want to make my life as easy, or my grader's life as easy as possible by not having them clicking too many different documents open, because that does take quite a bit of effort. Also, I've made some comments here about organizing your homework. Please do the problems in the correct order. Leave a little bit of space between the problems. Be neat, be organized, be legible, make sure that everything is easy for us to look at and to evaluate. Okay. Also, qualitative performance. I don't really take attendance. I don't really mark down participation, but those sorts of things through the course of 15 weeks, I get a pretty good picture about who's really serious about the class and who's attending, who's participating, who's trying to learn, who's coming to office hours, who is improving over the course of the semester. And I can use that qualitative performance to bump grades that might be close to a borderline up a little bit. And so I encourage you, again, to try your best. I know that you're all busy folks, but the more that you can put an effort into the class, the more likely it is that you're going to succeed and have a good experience. Academic integrity is really important. Really, the biggest thing here is on the homework. You really do need to do the homework yourself. You can work with other people. You can even solve problems as a group on a board somewhere, or just talk about the ideas a little bit. But it's always important that when you're writing up your homework, that you're doing your own thinking and writing, that you actually have gone through the process of struggling with those problems so that you really learn how to do them. Because the fact of the matter is, most of your grade is based on the exams. And so if you are cutting corners on homework, right, what will happen is you might do okay on the homework, but ultimately, if you can't pull it together for the exams, you're not going to be able to succeed in the class. And so it's really important to do the homework. Even though I know there will be a fair amount of it, it will be really to your benefit to do it. I'm always happy to help. Your classmates are certainly a good resource as well. Just please don't do some of the things I mentioned in here. Don't just go online and find a solution on the internet. They are out there, okay? I'm not going to try to deny that, but it doesn't help you really. And sometimes these online websites that produce solutions to my textbook, they don't use my notation. They don't solve the problems the way I explained how to solve them. And it's very easy for us to tell when somebody's really not playing by the rules or trying to use some other resources that are not really authorized here. So do be mindful of that, especially. Okay, I will post solutions to all of the homework after you turn it in so that you can review it as much as you want. Without a doubt, we're not going to be able to grade every single problem that you submit. So it makes sense that you might want to check your answers even after you get your paper back. You might want to check some of those answers against the solutions that I will provide in Canvas for you. Okay, a few other things here I'll let you read on your own about emergency procedures and just general links about stuff that the university requires me to put in the syllabus. Go ahead and have at it, as much or as little of that as you want to read. I've got some links there that you can take a look at. Finally, I would love for all of you to stop by my office sometime in roughly the first 3.5 weeks. I put Tuesday, February 11th down as kind of a drop dead date for you to do this. A 5-minute chat with me to introduce yourself a little bit. This helps me to learn your names. It's so hard to do that when I've got everybody all at once. But if people are coming by my office hours, either individually or with another person or something like that, I can learn names much more easily. And also, it's, I think, good for you guys to check in with me over these first 3 to 4 weeks. Just make sure you don't have any questions, or if you do, you can ask them. It's just a good idea to kind of get engaged and set a good habit early in the semester. I love seeing students come to office hours, especially if you're really struggling with the material and you just want to get a little bit of a boost. Nothing pains me more than just seeing people sort of sit back and just not learn the stuff and just magically hope that something will click. I think it's much better to be proactive about it and stop by my office hours. So if you'll do that, by the way, if you'll do that by February 11th, I am going to make you eligible for extra credit opportunities for each of the midterms. Okay, so if you don't stop by and introduce yourself, you won't be able to take this extra credit quiz, nor will you be able to earn points just for watching videos and submitting notes, which is a relatively easy way to get extra points. So you don't want to miss this. I'm also going to drop your lowest homework if you do this. So please do take just a few minutes. You can do it in Zoom or in person and stop by and introduce yourself. Okay, so that's a quick look at the syllabus. You're also going to find a schedule and timeline in the homepage of Canvas here, that just gives a weekly breakdown of kind of where we're roughly going to be in the material. I don't promise that we're going to be always lined up exactly with this. You can see I've got the important dates here at the top of this document. When are the exams and when are the adding and dropping dates? But then you can see this is what I was talking about, kind of a schedule, approximate dates of covering some of the sections of the book. So you'll see what sections we're covering and roughly when we're going to do it. Don't hold me to it. I can sometimes get either a little bit ahead or a little behind, but roughly this is where we should be. I do have some days that are set aside just to review or catch up on things that we need to do, and that's on purpose. I put those in there so that we have a little bit of flexibility on that. You'll also notice that on a few of the topics where it says the approximate date that we're going to cover that material, it says extra video. So that just means that I will probably be asking you to watch a video at home before class with that particular topic. And this is just to save us some time so that when we do get to class, we can focus more on showing more examples, answering your questions, looking at the homework, and things like that. So you will see that some topics are not going to be explicitly lectured on in full details in class, but I'm certainly not going to make you learn a whole bunch of material on your own. We will certainly be recapping and reviewing anything that we happen to talk about in any of the videos as well. Okay, you can also look at the learning goals for the class. I think that can be a helpful thing to do as well. And I also have a welcome email here that you might have already taken a look at. And if you have, you know already that we're not going to meet in person until the third week of the semester. During the first 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a combination of having you watch some videos on your own and take notes on those videos. I will generally ask you then to scan those notes into Canvas for me. And the other part of what we'll be doing in the first couple of weeks is we'll be having Zoom classes that are going to be held kind of in a remote format, but live in Zoom so that we can stay on track a little bit. I don't want to make you watch too many of the topics in video format. Okay, so that's all kind of explained in the welcome email as well. Looking at the different things you can click on in the homepage of Canvas, the main ones that you're going to want to look at are going to be the assignments. And I'm going to try to open that up right now to show you here that that January video assignment, which is going to get us through the first lecture of the semester without a class meeting, this is already posted. And what you'll be doing here is going into this assignment, and there are YouTube videos for you to watch that you'll then submit here in this particular spot. And I'll show you where those videos are in just a minute. But then normally most of the assignments are going to be problems out of the book. Some of the problems may be only recommended. So if I have required problems and recommended problems, of course, you will only be graded on the required ones. I always recommend doing as much practice as you can, but I also recognize that you're all very busy. So I made some of these problems just recommended. And if you have extra time, or if you're struggling with any of the topics especially, then some of those recommended problems might be especially helpful in hopefully closing that gap and making you feel a little bit better about the material. So anyway, the assignments are here. I've got the first several of them posted already. You can take a look at them whenever you want with the due dates that are already set for those assignments. So yeah, I hope that you'll jump in whenever you're feeling ready. There's a link to check your grades. I'll always encourage you to do that. Make sure that nothing was misrecorded or that there was no miscommunication with my grader and myself that sort of caused something to go wrong. Definitely keep me posted on that. But otherwise, yeah, you can monitor your progress a little bit that way. The main part of the web page, though, that you will want to, or the Canvas page that you'll want to consult at various times is the Files section. In the Files section, I have a number of folders. I have a resources folder for each of our exams. Okay, I also have a group work folder along with a different folder that has the solutions to those group works. From time to time, we're going to try to do group work in class so that you'll be able to collaborate and actively participate in learning the material with your peers. So I do have those handouts here, and I'll talk more about the group works as we get a little bit further into the semester. Here's a folder that I'll be putting the homework solutions into, so you'll certainly be able to check your answers there. And then there's a folder here called Special Handouts. This has a sort of a hodgepodge of, I don't know, a dozen or so different documents that I've created special for this course that I think from time to time would be good for you to look at. But you don't need to worry about it too much. I'll let you know when I think there's something in this folder that is noteworthy or that would be useful or helpful for you. So just be aware that this is where you'll find that special handouts folder. Okay, and then the other one, it turns out that Canvas won't let me put any videos into this part of the Canvas page. So I have to go to Pages to get to the videos and those sorts of things. And you'll notice that I'm going to have videos to help you review for the final exam as well as all of the midterms. Here's the folder where I'm going to be putting the class lecture videos that I talked about earlier. So if you do miss a class or you want to review part of a previous lecture, you can certainly click into this link here. And at the moment, there's nothing in there because we haven't had any class lectures yet, but eventually you'll be able to do that. I also have some additional videos up here, and some of those I will actually require you or ask you to watch. Others of them are just going to be kind of supplementary. You may or may not need to worry about them depending on how you feel with the material. But again, I will always let you know if there's a video in this additional videos area that you really ought to be tuning into. Other than any announcement from me about that, you don't really have to look at these videos. It's kind of up to you. Okay. And finally, I do have this one link that's called January videos, and this is what I wanted to show you because this is where you are going to begin with this semester. You're already watching the syllabus right now, and I have several recordings that cover sort of the material that goes along with the first class meeting. So there's, unfortunately, I kind of messed this up originally. The first video actually has 4 parts to it. This is all just from the first part of chapter 1, and it's just my lecture of this material. And I hope that you'll be able to see and hear everything in these videos. But what you're going to want to do is start with these 4 recordings here and take notes on the videos. You can see how long they are. You certainly don't have to do it all in one sitting. So take your time with this. Take breaks as much as you want. And then there's also a few more videos down here. So there's a fair bit. I'm trying to get us off to a good jump onto the semester because I do know how much there is to cover. So be sure to watch videos 2, 3, 4, and 5 as well. Most of these are somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. That's generally what they are. And I'd like you to get these watched by the end of, well, sorry, by the middle of the first week of classes. So that would be January 22nd. That would be a good date to shoot for so that when we have class on January 23rd, you'll already be good to go. So that's another important part of the Canvas page. This is where all of the videos will be. So videos, other handout resources will be in the files section. And then, yeah, the homepage, as we already have kind of looked at. So that is my quick overview about Math 250B for this spring semester. You should expect to be pretty busy. This is a 4-unit course, and you're definitely going to get your money's worth out of this because the syllabus, which is not set by me, by the way, it's set by the department, the syllabus really engages a lot of things. There's a lot of linear algebra, there's a lot of differential equations, and the interplay between those two subjects, which is really what makes the course so beautiful. I've taught this course for 20 years. I teach it every semester, and I love it every time I do it. And I hope that you're going to feel fulfilled with it as well and get a good experience, and also to feel just good about how much you're going to learn in this course this semester. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and for enrolling in the class. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. By the third week, we'll be in person. Up until then, we'll have some Zoom sessions. And certainly you can email me or stop by my Zoom office hours anytime during these first 2 weeks. Anyway, thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.